Hey, bro, don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro.
We heard a whole lot of lip service, but hey, anybody can do that. But between them lines,
come with the kid, you best not miss. Even the score now, we need to score now. Back on that wall, when you hear that call, you know it's going down. We play from beginning to ending, you know how we finish. Turn to the bank, gotta handle our business. We need the ball, so it's time to go get it. Play with your heart when you hit, make like, who you with? You know I'm with. You come to the bank and get out of line, we sending a blitz. Say who you with? You know I'm with. That purple and black, and when we attack, you know what it is.
You're now locked in Zone 32.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. We got a quartet because Grant is not a real person. He doesn't fucking exist. My name is Jake.
First sources, Grant is getting first sources. Grant is getting a pride cast on his broken wrist.
He's not waiting for a sandwich at that one spot in the Gurks like he did y'all last time and just didn't meet up with that one meetup.
No, June is Grant's favorite monkey. He's just out celebrating.
Oh, there you go. Hey, it's understandable. Was it? I mean, Korn made a song, their best song.
Oh Jesus!
Dedicated to this time of month, this month every year. So, hey, I'm just saying. And by
so we should just cut the shit. Where's our guest?
Hey, man.
Well,
where is he?
Let's see.
I don't know nothing about it. But still,
Jake doesn't.
Anyway,
Jake doesn't use the internet.
Jake doesn't
use the internet, so he's got no idea what's going on right now.
No, I barely saw it that you were talking to Bateman, and I was like, oh, apparently that's a thing. All right.
No way Bate joins. Yeah, I don't think he's got. He's not smart enough to figure out who the difference between Will and I. So I can't imagine that he's going to know how to click a link to a live stream.
The StreamYard, but still. Anyway, well, since this is just the four of us, I'll do the proper introduction again. My name is Jake. His name is Drew. His name is Will. His name is Trippy. You shut the fuck up, ball sack, hair having on your chin, motherfucker.
I think we lost Trippy. I don't know. His mic's muted. I don't know where he is.
That's disappointing. Well, 3-0. All right. Well,
Trippy's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. Well, we're in the dog days of the off season. So, yep.
Seems like this time of June, there's always at least one Ravens player who wants to get emotional on Twitter.
It's true.
Yeah. He got a content.
Last one that did it didn't really work out too well for him. So Godspeed to Rashod, but I think you poked the wrong hornet's nest today.
He got into an argument with assistant coach
of all the Ravens podcasts to get silly with. This was not the right one.
Do you even call it getting silly or just being fucking stupid?
I think he thought when he jumped into your replies that he was somehow like he
had a picture of you.
He was doing something. But yeah, no, all he did was expose himself. He exposed himself. Now, listen, the link is in his DMs right now. It's sitting there. And just to sweeten the pot, I told him that the podcast was sponsored by Balenciaga. So we'll see if he shows up.
I mean, again, so he goes back and forth with Mo today, which is, I mean, you got to be having a real bad day if you're a professional athlete and you decide to tweet Mo back. Just to begin with. Like that's just poor life choices to start off with. And so, I see him going back and forth and I was like, oh, well, he's now tweeted Mo, more times than he's caught a pass from Lamar this offseason that wasn't at like a Ravens sponsored event. And decided to reply to me with a picture of Will, which was the most I refreshed my Twitter like 6 times. I was like, am I like losing my mind here? Well, I think I texted Will like right after.
Right. So, like, the best part of this is I heard that Justin weirdo was, like, doing the Macarena about this. That picture, I posted that picture on the Zone 32 account. That's not like, oh, man, you got me. Like, I put that picture on Twitter.
So did he click in my bio and then went there and, like, clipped it? He's like, oh, yeah, this is going to be him?
I don't know, man. I think you have to go back a little ways to find that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I just don't understand what he was doing or why he was doing it. Like, my face is my profile picture. Like, it's not like it's some, fucking, like, secret what I look like. And just tweets that, and I'm like, I literally, like, refreshed my page, like, 6 times. I'm like, this can't be real. Like, I got to be getting fucking punked here or something. And nope, he actually thought that was me. And then backed off it real quick. Yeah, that was just I don't even
crazy.
I mean, he's blocked Trippy for asking how people felt about him. He's going after me thinking I'm Will. Like, that guy's just a mess.
It went so poorly for him because if his intention was to somehow make fun of your looks,
Fine, who the fuck cares? I wouldn't care.
Well, yeah, but he actually made you more attractive by saying you were me. But we're gonna leave that to the side.
Well, I mean, you got fucking killed for no reason.
Well, but
then he says afterwards, like, oh, I thought you guys would say, like, oh, you guys look like twins or something like that. I forget what his fucking response.
Just one of the dumbest things ever. There were two different ways I could go with my reply, and I was gonna go with one.
Offended that he compared us.
Right, exactly.
Possibly racially motivated too.
The problematic nature of that, right? But I decided that I would just turn the tables on him and confuse him with someone who he maybe other people compare him to. So.
Also, you kind of did what he did in terms of, Rashod Bateman doesn't deserve that kind of slander.
Well, that's why I was very careful to use his headshot as a Raven.
Yeah, but I mean, he scored, a few times. He had a decent season. He had a couple decent seasons in his career.
Sam Cook got more touchdowns than that man.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody has ever accused Rashod Bateman of not caring about football. They're just like, oh, this guy gets hurt all the time. You can't catch.
I mean, the main thing is I'm just saying, oh, here's a first-round bust. That's you, right?
Yeah, and then he's just like, you win.
Yeah, pussy. He immediately waved white flag there. And I'm still going to give him some time to show up, but I have my doubts.
There's no shot. So, I mean, just to recap our history with players, we had Ja'Kalen Dobbins try to fight me last June. That didn't turn out so great for him or his career. And now we have Rashod Bateman, trying to, I guess, pick up the mantle. And I just can't see that going very well for him.
Yeah, me neither.
Both of them got upset over nothing comments that I made too. So,
yeah, that's one of the most confusing. I was more confused when you sent that to me. More confused than the fact that my picture was in his reply was the fact that he was replying to that tweet, considering all the things that we have said.
So there were people interacting with that tweet who he follows, and so I had expected that slightly, that he was feeling himself because he fought the kid who couldn't speak English. Congratulations, Rashod, you got into a fucking 14 tweet debate with Lamar Heisman, who English is his second language. Like, good for you, pal. You really showed him with that one. And I was like, all right, so he's feeling a little chippy today, and yeah, it just. I threw that one out there, and I was like, it's going to piss people off, whatever. Like, I'm going to get some, angry Bateman dick riders in my mentions. And then I saw him, he was around still on Twitter. He was still going back and forth with Mo. So then he hopped into my replies. I still don't know where he pulled that picture of you from.
Well, it was posted on Zone 32.
But way down, right? Like, it wasn't the most recent thing.
That was that had to be. It's definitely over a month ago.
He also cropped Trippy out of the picture.
Yes, exactly. So he either had it saved or he has very fast Twitter fingers. So
I mean, he's afraid of Trippy, pretty clear. For some reason, thinks we're the same person, which is just moron on Twitter 101. Like, right. That's we've seen that story a million times.
So many times.
And then I was just
that shit's stupid.
I'm not kidding. Like, I wish I had a video reaction of me receiving that tweet, because I was like, what? And I kept clicking on it. I clicked on the profile to make sure it was real. I was like, am I being punked right now? Like, what the fuck's happening? It was better than Patrick Queen dunking on Calvin. I mean, that was a significantly better response from Bateman than that, and was not at all prodded by anybody else. I was just totally
I'm about to. Okay, so I really would like Rashod to come on and interact with us and tell us
what's
going through his
head.
There's
no fucking shot.
So in my my quest to have Rashod come on and redeem himself, I am gonna make him feel at home.
Did you paint your nails?
I'm in the nail salon.
I can't tell what the fuck your background is. I'm on a fucking iPhone.
He too busy working out. That's why he ain't gonna come on. Remember?
Yeah, that's what he told me. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go work out.
He said he working out.
Yeah, he said I gotta go work out. You should probably go fucking get a sponsorship deal with Lens Crafters. Maybe get your fucking eyes checked out, pal. Actually, I might have solved it. That might have solved his problems if you think about it. Like, Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions and went and got LASIK, and now he's much smarter with the ball. Like, maybe Rashod Bateman's blind. That's why he can't catch. That's why he can't track the deep ball. He can't see
it. Yeah,
so,
exactly.
It would make some sense. Maybe go get your fucking eyes checked out or something, pal. But Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been pretty out of the loop on
that.
Go ahead, Joey.
I'm about to say that boy. I ain't gonna say his name. He was like, "Yo, my favorite player just cooked that dude," and the dude was like, "That's the wrong player." He was like, "Well, fuck it, he cooked that weirdo too." I'm like,
I DM'd that person
man,
afterwards because I was like, I thought somebody must have fed Rashod Bateman bad information. Like that was the only conclusion that I could come to, is that somebody sent him a picture of us and sent like multiple tweets and said, "These are the guys that have been talking shit about you for months," and he just picked the wrong one and tweeted it. And so I DM'd people that I know Rashod talks to, and I was like, "One of you guys feed him like that?" I was like, "This is fucking phenomenal." I was like, I owe you a debt of gratitude here. Like this is the hardest I've laughed at Twitter in a real fucking long time. But none of them caught to it. So I don't know. I don't know what possessed him to go to the Zone 32 Twitter, or if he had that saved already and was like, "This is my day. Like I'm gonna fucking fight back," and then you just totally blew it. Is he responding to you?
Well, I know one thing. His ass bad short this year.
I just tagged him, and I just did a screenshot, so he's aware that we're in. I said we're in his natural habitat.
And we should, show this. Like this is nice banner 18, by the way. Called first on Zone 32 podcast by me. In the car, nailed that series. Celtics in 5. Kyrie melted into a puddle. I seem to do pretty well with picking out athletes who can't hack it, can't stand the limelight. Rashod is on that list now of people that are just not capable of, life's got too bright for him today on Twitter is the only thing that I could say.
Somebody from the Ravens probably told him don't interact no more on Twitter. I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, my whole thing is like, actually Sarah Ellison put out it was a fucking novel and a half of how professional athletes should like conduct themselves on Twitter. And her tweet wasn't all that wrong. It was like, don't engage on social media at all. Like, fine. And then it was like, pick and choose who you respond to. And like, you have to know, like, we're not the ones. Like, we're just absolutely not the ones to respond to.
Because guess what happens? You know what happens? What's happening right now.
I mean, I can't think of, athletes that I've had dust-ups with that it goes well for them, ever. I mean, Jalen Dobbins is a shell of himself. Has not been the same human being since he, threatened to show up at my house and fight me. Still waiting, but he's, had to move across the country because he was so afraid to pull up on my doorstep like he promised. Richard Sherman probably hasn't recovered. I don't think Rashod's going to recover.
No.
Yeah, that was just I did not have that on.
They say he gonna have
that
a
on
breakout
today's bingo card. Because I've been very out of touch on Ravens stuff. The last thing that I realized Ravens fans were talking about was this Mount Rushmore bullshit. Which, by the way, people have the stupidest fucking take on that. I don't know if you guys talked about that last week.
We did, and we said that Lamar is going to. Yeah, we did. We talked about it. We talked about it on our own before it was actually on the internet. Like
that's right.
I think they actually listened to the podcast and then made that whole thing based on what we said. But we said that Lamar is going to end up on top of the Ravens Mount Rushmore with Ray Lewis because they're both transcendent players.
Okay, so right now you're Mount Rushmore. This is not debatable. Anybody who tells you this is the wrong Mount Rushmore is either a 2019 fan or mentally retarded. Okay, it's Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Jonathan Ogden, and Terrell Suggs. Those are your 4. That you cannot debate any one of them. You have Ogden was your first ever pick of the franchise and then turned into a Hall of Famer. Cornerstone franchise player. Ray Lewis is a fucking statue in front of your stadium. Ed Reed is probably the best defensive player to ever play football. And right now, if you're looking at, resume of everybody else, and I would say your honorable mentions are probably Tucker and Yonda and Lamar at this point. I would say those are probably your next 3. Yonda's an offensive lineman. He's never going to get a defensive player of the year. Okay, so he doesn't have that Suggs has. Justin Tucker's a kicker. Again, that's just kind of positional bias. He's the best kicker to ever play football, but he's not going to be on your Mount Rushmore. And Lamar needs a Super Bowl ring to be up there. It's really that simple. Lamar gets a Super Bowl ring, and I think he overtakes Suggs, and then those are your 4.
I think.
I don't think you're ever going to get somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're not wrong, except you can argue that you can put Lamar on there over Suggs. What is the sound in the background? You guys hear that?
Yeah, I keep hearing that too.
Trippy, you got the TV on or something? What the fuck is going on?
I feel like Trippy's watching us on an iPad while he's talking on his phone.
It's probably my air. I ain't got my earphones. I lost them. I go on mute though. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. Don't worry
about it. You can make the argument that Lamar deserves to be on there over Suggs because Suggs won but he won a Super Bowl with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. So
okay, but Lamar has never won a Super Bowl, so that's
I get that, but he's won 2 MVPs.
Right, it's not the time for but it's not
Lamar
the time.
will be
it's not
there.
the time for Lamar
that.
yet. Like we know he's gonna be.
I
up
get
there,
no.
Listen,
I'm not gonna. I'm not arguing.
Like,
I'm not gonna have the argument with you which one of them deserves to be on there. I'm just saying if you want to say there's no argument, there is an argument. I don't really care who I don't really care who wins it, but what is going to happen?
There's no argument.
Even if Lamar doesn't win a Super Bowl, even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl,
Mount Rushmore.
Even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, Lamar plays a full career here with 2 MVPs or more. That was the point. Is I said Lamar will never be the greatest of all time. He'll never be the greatest quarterback or greatest player of all time. He is a transcendent player at the quarterback position. He is the most dynamic quarterback you've ever seen, and he has the potential to win 3, 4, 5 MVPs and 1+ Super Bowl. Now, that's why I said he'll never be the greatest because Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. So no one's ever going to do that. So you can't really make the comparison. Now, as far as an athlete is concerned, as far as what Lamar is capable of, Tom Brady would tell you right now that he couldn't do half the shit that Lamar does at half speed. Like Lamar is like an athlete that is in a completely different class than Tom Brady. But as far as being a quarterback and being the greatest football player of all time, Tom Brady has that distinction, and nobody's really challenging that unless Mahomes continues winning Super Bowl.
I mean, Mahomes is on a better path than Brady right now.
No, right. But right now, what I'm saying
is he's the only guy that's
Mahomes. Mahomes has to keep that pace up, and I can't see a world where Lamar goes on a run where he somehow threatens to win 7 Super Bowls. I mean, if it happens, I'll be fucking thrilled, but I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to win it. Like he's got to win 3 in a row for that to start being a conversation.
And even then, so fucking because Lamar's not going to play till he's 43 years old.
Yeah, but people forget Tom Brady had a decade there where he didn't do shit. Winning rings wise. So
true. But that's normal.
No, it is normal.
On
I'm
the
saying
other
that,
two ends of that, he won 3 and 4. So
but I'm saying that if Lamar does it in a every other year kind of thing, all of a sudden we're in year 17 and he's right there. So
I just but realistically,
not realistic though.
Yeah, realistically, he's not going to come close to 7.
I mean, winning 7 championships in a short window is not realistic to expect of anybody. So
no, right, exactly. It's not a realistic expectation, but that's why I say it's stupid to even say he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest something of all time, but he's not the greatest of all time. That's Tom Brady's title, and the only person that I know of who really is ever going to threaten that is Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure
that's assuming that he doesn't get locked up for a felony, because that seems to be the Chiefs way.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Or mistaken for his brother.
Yeah, or his dad. I mean, his dad's already serving time in prison. So
true. Oh shit. We got some commenters here. Oh, hold on.
We got one comment, unless I'm missing something here.
Oh, we got one. Let's go O's. Hold on. Let's go X. The fuck?
Yeah, he says Bateman's not going to join. He said that at 10:30. He said that at 10:33. It's 10:51.
Yeah, whatever. That's because Bateman's.
Obviously. I literally read it when he sent it.
Oh, I didn't.
Will's not very good with the.
I'm doing, dude. You still don't know what this shit looks like on a fucking computer. It's all over the place. It's very hard to keep up with. That's why I think most shows that do it this way have a producer who runs this part of it. Ha. Oh yeah.
Bait cooked you, Will. He's not wrong. He's not wrong for no reason. That was the best. It's just Will wasn't even on Twitter at the time. I had to text him.
All right. Well, you know what? We're gonna pull back the curtain a little bit here.
Let Haas, you should let Bateman know to come on that we're discussing his antics today, just for clarity's sake. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know what else there is to talk about today other than that. That was just.
Not a whole lot has happened. Now, you and Trippy haven't been on for a couple weeks, so me and Jake are happy to rehash our conversation, because apparently there's some people in your group chat who were dissatisfied with the content.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my fault. I'm just charismatic. People like to listen to me talk. I didn't ask to be this way. It is what it is. People enjoy listening to me say things. I listened on and off last week. Grant and Trippy had a pretty good episode last week too. I thought it was unfair criticism to say that they didn't contribute to last week. But yeah. So I know you guys were talking about the roster spots. Will went on his anti-Tylon Wallace rant, because I'm pretty sure Tylon Wallace punched Will at some point or something. You're getting to the point where you just like irrationally hate that guy for no particular
You're
reason.
the one, dude. You've been talking about for a year. All he does is post the same clip of that fucking punt return touch. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's funny. That's funny. It's funny that in any situation you can expect a Tylan Wallace Instagram story of that punt return.
Right, but what I'm saying, like now that we have Deontay Hardy, who is a more accomplished and that's his.
Before
his
we
job,
get farther into this reminded me. You put some falsehoods on the air last week with Qadri Ishmael's kid.
I don't know.
You said that you investigated the nepotism claim.
I did.
No, Qadri Ishmael told you were retarded, and then you took back the nepotism claim. There was no investigation? You just got another Ravens wide receiver body bagging Will. This time out of false nepotism claims. So we just like that on the record.
My investigations. You're not privy to the scope of my investigations. You're not an investigator. You hear what I want you to hear in the aftermath of my investigations. Why would I include you in my investigations?
Well, because I know the last time you tried to do a live investigation, it involved you trying to say that Julio Jones had more yards than Michael Thomas, and that didn't go too well.
It's not an investigation.
Yeah, you didn't investigate. You spoke before investigating. But regardless, we're going to sign Michael Thomas anyway. That's going to be our wide receiver 3 or 4.
0% chance.
It's going to happen.
Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything for me. Honestly, really wouldn't.
Well, I think Eric DaCosta takes that into consideration when he makes free agent moves. He said, "Does this do anything for Jake?" And then if the answer is no, he doesn't make the move.
That's fucking right.
I've gotten leaked photos of his office, and he has a chart of guys that are free agents, and then there's a check in the box if it would do something for Jake, and then there's no check if it wouldn't do anything for Jake. And then they're not on the list. That's how the Ravens. Right. In case people are wondering, a peek behind the curtain. That's how the Ravens run. Is that what would Jake do?
Hey man.
Some people are WWJD. Right. What would Jesus do? But the Ravens are what would Jake do?
It's fucking right. It's the only 4-letter motto to live by. What the fuck would Jake do?
And if Jake was smart, he'd sign Michael Thomas. And the Ravens are smart, so they'll sign Michael Thomas. But
yeah.
I mean, the rest of our position groups are kind of boring to talk about if you think about it. Like, we still got the offensive line, questions, whatever, because you don't know how it's going to shake out. Like I read somewhere Ben Cleveland was playing tackle at camp. So is he like your new swing tackle? Is he losing the guard spot? Does he look like shit? I mean, everybody says he looks like shit, but I don't know if that's true or not. It's training camp. Who the fuck really cares? I assume Rosengarten's your starting right tackle. You got Voorhees in there. You got Voorhees as your left guard or right guard, depending on what you do with Cleveland. And then you got a couple guys, with Jones or Saleh that you can slot in at left guard.
I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what that is.
What does that mean?
Shorzy is that Canadian hockey show. I don't know how Jake is giving Shorzy vibes right now, but
yeah, he's rocking an Evil Dead shirt. What the fuck? Fuck Canada. Canada will tell you fucking ham is bacon. So fuck those people.
Fuck Canada. Blue Jays fans have been at Fenway. Since I'm on a live podcast platform, Caller Daddy is trash and Alex Cooper sucks. I would just like that on the record after the fucking shit show that I endured tonight. Did
they tip well? Oh,
no.
Well, and it was just a rain delay, basically, right?
Yeah, but I worked. I stood on a trash can and sold Trulies to fucking 25-year-old white women. I don't have any money. Fuck you. Go home, assholes. So yeah, that's Alex Cooper's
Calvin's
fault.
here. Here we go.
That's the first time Calvin showed up on a live stream that involved me and you.
He's been on his. We're gonna leave him up for.
He's now been on Zone 32.
We're gonna leave him up for like
PSF.
11 minutes, and he will have been on Zone 32 for longer than he was on.
You think Calvin is commenting with his eagle shit in the background, or?
My fault. I pressed the wrong button. I had a boomer moment. By the way, Calvin, throw your horny level. What the fuck is baby girl? Who the fuck is baby girl? What is this? Who are you?
Not true. Work's dead. I don't know what that means. Oh, he's at work watching us. He does not have his Eagles stuff up behind him, is what he's trying to say. I'm fluent in illiterate moron, so I understood what Calvin was getting at on this point. But I mean, you guys went through like the position groups. Like backup quarterback is somewhat of a question, I would think. Yeah. But that's more of a I don't know if like formality is the right word, but it really doesn't matter who the backup quarterback is at the end of the day. Like it's Lamar that matters for quarterback.
Yep.
So if it's Leary or it's Johnson or it's that UDFA kid, like who the fuck actually cares? Because if they're in the game, then it means Lamar's hurt or we're blowing somebody out. So either way, it's it doesn't really matter. Pass rush is, kind of contingent on is David Ojabo healthy? That's your question there. So it's not really who you have. It's what are you going to get the same season out of Van Noy? Are you going to get a healthy Ojabo? Does Owe take that step forward?
This year's a big year for Ojabo. It's a big one.
I mean, Tavius Robinson is underrated, I would say, by our fan base. You can't teach that kind of size and athleticism, and I think that could turn out to be, he could turn out to be a pretty good, like a role guy, or even a star. I don't know. I mean, again, that size and speed is tough to teach. So who knows what he turns out to? But you have the guys there. I guess my point. It's if Ojabo stays healthy. Corner doesn't really interest me that much. A lot of people are talking about what's Nate Wiggins going to look like. Marlon threw that whole bitch fit about if people called him, most overrated corner in the NFL, and tough shit, dude. Fucking, that's what people call you because you got paid, and you're not an all-pro again. You're getting paid like a top 5 corner, and you played like a top 15 corner, and you were hurt. So, fucking don't cry about it. Just fucking show up and play, and you'll be fine. Again, Nate Wiggins is a solid player. What does TJ Tampa give you? Who's your slot guy? Is it a Darius Washington? Is it, I don't know. What do you do with the slot position? Are you going to pay Brandon Stevens or not? But, he's there and he's good. So you don't really have much questions for him. And then, safety is probably our most boring position because you have Kyle Hamilton's arguably the most valuable defensive player in football playing one safety spot. And Marcus Williams is, legitimate elite free safety that played most of last year with, one arm, for lack of a better descriptor for it. So it doesn't really move me. Again, running back is you have Derrick Henry. What fucking more conversation do you need about that? Who's this?
What's it say?
Somebody is in here.
Oh,
am I losing my mind?
Only one person has the link.
Hello?
Only one other person has the link, so.
That's fucking weird. I saw a fucking voice just going for a second, but I thought it was going at the same time as Will. Who the fuck is this?
Who is this?
I feel like it's some kind of troll job.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's 100% a troll job. There's no fucking shot. That's actually Bateman.
Well done.
So who'd you make join with that?
He showed up. He showed up. I can't believe it.
Hey man, he showed up with fucking painted nails and everything. I respect that.
I assume this is an inside job. I don't know who is pulling it off.
Man,
but
whoever you are with your black fingernails. When we were young fesses in October, I'll see you in Vegas, homie.
I would say this is Big Dog Dad, but I don't think he's got the technological capabilities to make that his background.
Listen, I only shared the link with one person, and it's Rashod Bateman. I don't know who.
Or Will. I would guess Will's joined on his phone right now with that at the background, but
could be, but still. Hey man, when we were young fest, October, wear your girl pants and your fucking skinny jeans and your Senson's Pale shirt. Fucking emo night. Only emo kids paint their nails black.
I'm gonna hope for some kind of payoff here, AI exists. We could get the fake Bateman to talk.
Listen, I don't know what the hell's going on here. I think we got hacked. I don't know. Maybe Haas is in here. So he's trying to distract us with, is the team better than last year? Does that really feel like a question for this fucking episode, dude?
Well, I mean, if Rashad's really here, he could probably answer that. But since you pull some fucking
could he? Because he hasn't really spent much time around the team, so I'm not sure he's really educated.
Didn't spend much time around the team last year either. So
true.
I feel like he's just as educated as we are to have an opinion on that. I think Trippy spent more time around the team last year than Rashad did. But
that's a guarantee.
Yeah. I mean, I like this team better than I like last year.
Me too. No, I do like this team better. Haas, to answer your question honestly, I think this team is better.
And the reason last year was kind of we knew what we had. You knew what Odell was. You kind of knew who Jadeveon Clowney was. You knew who the majority of our team was not these unknown people. And this year you got a little bit more excitement, And yeah, you got the new McDonald too is a good one to point out. You got a new defensive scheme coming in this year. There's some exciting unknowns rather than our wide receiver is going to suck ass this year. I feel like we got a little bit more.
I think anybody who is but we lost Mike McDonald. Yeah, we lost him, and Mike McDonald is incredible. And I'm not.
I'm excited for Zach Gore.
Right, exactly. So like we're in a rare position where it's like we lost Mike McDonald, we were all dejected, and then they actually made the exact right choice for who to replace him with.
Right.
So I'm excited about the defense. I don't think and people are like, oh, there's going to be a drop off. I don't mean that. Like, I don't see why that. Maybe there'll be a slight drop off from last year.
Define drop off.
Right, for the first half of the season.
Growing pains,
like
maybe
it's going to be a little bit more like the year before without the threat of a collapse, a 28-point collapse in the fourth quarter against the Dolphins. Like I don't think that's possible because it's a lot of the same guys. It's Zach Orr was on the staff, so like it's not like a brand new system. It's a new boss. A lot of the same guys, a lot of the same mechanics of how that works, and the way that the Ravens defense works is unique. Like there's a lot of positionless football being played and creating opportunities for people like Kyle.
I like how you just said that. The real way to say that is the Ravens are fucking good at defense, so people need to stop worrying.
Yeah, but it's not the kind of defense you're necessarily used to seeing. But it's also like it's very much in line with what they've done throughout the history of the Ravens, where they kind of
Trenton Simpson gives you a different dynamic than Patrick Queen did in terms of that positionless style.
Yeah, Trenton Simpson, when he came in, he has like the physique and the attributes of a safety. He's like a safety,
but he's got the size of a linebacker.
Right, exactly. So, and Kyle Hamilton is like a cornerback, safety, linebacker hybrid. So we have these guys who can do things that you're not going to find guys who are used the way that they actually should be used.
You got a Darius Washington who has Tyrann Mathieu vibes in terms of his ability to play slot and safety.
Yep.
Put Calvin's comment on the screen because this shit pisses me off. I hate when people say shit like this. So 13-4 is hard to improve on. They had a great year. Regression is expected. Like if you go 13-4, 14-3, 12-5, all that really matters is that you win the AFC North and you put yourself in a good position to win in the playoffs.
If Calvin, what he's going to do is going to come back to this comment if they go 12-5 and say, oh, they had a great year and regression is expected. That's not regression. It depends on what 12-5 represents in the context of this season. But I think they're between a 12 and 17 win team. I don't think
I no longer
care
about the regular season other than it's a mechanism to get us into the playoffs.
Right. I mean, you got to care because there are things to accomplish in the regular season.
Right, but winning another division title doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? I don't particularly care about going 14-3 versus 13-4 versus 12-5. It's all about winning the AFC and eventually the Super Bowl. To me now,
well,
like you've gone to the AFC Championship game.
Brandon, by the way, has made it clear that he's an experienced podcaster and he is giving a logical answer to Calvin, who can't read. And
yes,
there is a very good chance they win 13 games again. I don't see I just don't see why anybody would doubt that they would. You want to bet the under on 13, that's fine, but
I also Haas just said I need another AFC Championship game in Baltimore. I don't even care if it's in Baltimore or not. You just win the AFC Championship game. That's to me, it's you've gotten to that AFC Championship game. That was the monkey on Lamar's back because that's what people do is that they pivot and backpedal and shift the goalposts. And so now it's just all about winning the Super Bowl. Win the AFC Championship game, win the Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck where it's played. They can play fucking, I don't know, some random fucking field with nobody in the stands. It doesn't fucking matter to me at this point. It's just win the Super Bowl.
No, yeah.
You have proven that you have a good enough roster around Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl. So let's just go fucking do it. No more excuses. No more, fucking games. Just let's win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Haas, did we?
This is the most coherent I've ever seen Calvin type. So I feel like Calvin might be hacked by one of his
except
employees.
When he tweets 9,000 tweets in a row in the middle of the night about.
Calvin is also a serial editor of tweets, which bothers me.
Oh yeah.
Just
he edits the tweet 6 seconds after he posts it.
Right. Just fucking tweet it right the first time, jackass. Also, you have Twitter Blue, so it takes 30 seconds for it to send.
Mine doesn't do that anymore.
You probably disabled that feature.
No, I looked for it. It's not there anymore. I can't find it.
Yeah, mine still does.
Mine just one day went away.
Twitter Blue, supreme. I still have to verify my identification to some fucking Israeli company, but
I did that.
I thought about doing it, but then I read that company was from Israel, and I wanted to see if they were going to steal my identity.
Okay, hold on. So that means you're pro Hamas?
No, I'm pro not giving my information to foreign countries because I'm an American citizen.
Jake, sounds like he supports Hamas to me.
And
I support the destruction of the Middle East.
Drew, do you
We're getting real problematic.
Drew, do you support not giving your tax money to bullshit like that and just keeping your dollars?
Yeah, tax fraud. I'm pro tax fraud. I'm not paying taxes.
I'm pro tax abolishment. I don't believe
evasion.
Taxes should be a thing. Fuck evasion. Just abolish taxes.
Evade them until they
Taxation
abolish
is
them.
theft.
Evade them until they abolish them. That's my. I am not an accountant, so I don't think I can get in trouble for this. So my advice to everyone is evade your taxes until they abolish the IRS, and you'll be fine. They won't prosecute. Fine. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not an accountant, so.
Right.
1-800 tax fraud.
Either way, pay your taxes, but they shouldn't exist. Fuck the motherfuck the IRS, and fuck your state tax board too. But taxes, they're a cunt. Fuck California. Fuck Drew.
People forget Jake actually invented the IRS.
People forget. Jake said January 6th should have been about abolishing taxes, not I don't like Joe Biden and I want Donald Trump.
January 6th should have been about smoking every motherfucker who stepped inside of the Capitol, but that's a different story for a different day.
January 6th was
we're doing a
January 6th was a guided tour.
We're doing a January 6th podcast here. All right.
It's fucking right. Hey, we're in the middle of the offseason. What the fuck else are there to talk about?
I got about 15 more minutes. In me.
I think 15 more minutes is perfect. I think that's.
I'm assuming Rashad's not going to show up.
No, he's probably not. That's fine.
Well,
24-hour nail salon. I don't know.
We had 500. So right now I'm staring at the number between the. So I was able to broadcast this to 2 different places at once.
Did we upgrade to?
I did today. 500.
So I should have done this to mine.
That's okay because I can broadcast to 3, so you and I can sync it up. So just pay for 1.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is I should have broadcasted this to mine.
Yeah, but it was last minute. So we have 500 people who have tuned in to see Rashod Bateman defend his behavior today, and all he was able to do was show up with a fucking picture of himself putting his nails over his face. So
I don't think he understands how badly I need to know his thought process of tweeting that picture. Did he think he won? Did he think he had me there, and then he just fucking?
I don't know. I mean,
for no reason?
I wish we could find someone who has communicated with him after that personally and privately, who might be able to shed some light on it.
I just want him to say, I thought you were the same person so that I could call him racist to his face because it would be funny. That's all. That's all I want. I just want to be like, oh, so all white guys with beards are the same and see how he reacted to it. Make him uncomfortable. It'd be kind of funny. I'd laugh. Maybe we'd have a good chuckle about it. Then we could, I don't know, go get a pedicure or something like that. Whatever the June people do after they argue. But, she's just robbed me of this opportunity. I took time out of my day to come on here to, took time out of my paternity leave to come on here and, I thought battle it out.
Hey, by the way, the fine print in that paternity leave is once you come back on the podcast after
paternity leave is, I'm not going to, I'll just, again, I mean, we don't hold anybody else accountable for not showing up, but God forbid Drew has shit going on. We got to hold Drew accountable for it. Is Grant, I don't even know if Grant exists. I haven't heard from Grant in 3 months, but
that's the question, Drew. Does Grant exist?
We don't know. He broke his wrist. He got mixed up with the wrong people, and he emerged with a cast that is the color of the rainbow.
Jake. Jake works from fucking 6 p.m. Eastern time to fucking 3 a.m. Eastern time on whatever day we plan to record. But
that's fucking right.
Don't blame me. Drew's got to go take care of a newborn kid.
Jake has shown up every single time that he
says I'm going to be there.
He's never not shown up ever.
Yep. Only time I don't show up is if I say I can't be there.
Trippy is here. He's like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get suspended. He's here.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's asleep.
It's all good. Speak which we said last week.
Trippy and I
My
were
plan
together.
is
Yeah, me and Trippy
Broncos.
were together at the Orioles game. So that's I was rushing home. On the way home, I ran into a fucking monsoon. Like it
I sent Will a picture of waiting for the rain to clear so I can run to my car. I thought it cleared. I got out into the open. If anybody's ever been to Fenway before, I got to Kenmore Square, which has no fucking cover in it, and it was just straight up downpours. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. So every time I wear that throwback Pedro jersey, it fucking downpours.
Hold on. Let's get Brandon on. He's here. Let's just let him come on. Hold on.
Yeah, he's got 14 minutes to speak his piece on Rashod.
Yeah. Because I want to go to sleep too, but I think Brandon is here. It sounds like he wants to be on the show.
Dave's more welcome to be on. He's all right.
I really want TD Hunter to come on and disavow the white pants. It's still.
Hey, he needs to. Otherwise, I'm gonna call him a Klansman again.
I have multiple times.
It would have been a tough look for me if the special uniform turned out to be like an icy uniform, like a white helmet, and it was like dedicated to white.
That would be very, very, very problematic. I think we're smarter than that.
Well, yeah, because
Steve Biscotti does not seem like a guy.
We're not the Minnesota Vikings.
Biscotti.
We're not the Minnesota Vikings.
Well,
they have the icy look.
Well, and the Bengals do too, and we don't.
Yeah, but we already know
they look like fucking zebra cakes, though.
They do look like zebra cakes.
That was another thing we talked about last week, Drew. I think that we're gonna have a black versus white. Sounds bad.
Yeah.
But
Black Panthers versus the Klan.
A
Thursday
black
night
versus white Bengals Ravens game for basically like every year in prime time, as long as Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are in Cincinnati.
Yeah, fucking Fashion Week Burrow over here. Open back suit.
I wonder if he's gonna change his number to flesh.
I was gonna say 6'9". Would probably be,
No, he's just gonna cut the middle out of his jersey on the front and the back, so his nipples are out. And
that was the funniest part. Is Will does not. If you send Will a video, he does not click play on it.
No.
And he has made that claim before on the podcast, and I just didn't believe him. I just thought it was just whatever, saying dumb shit. He's Will, but he literally does not click play because it was like 20 or 30 minutes after the fact of that video coming out. He's like, "Did you guys know he's got an open back on his suit?" We're like, "Yeah, that's what I would call them gay for." It's for having fucking open back in the first place. And you're like, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I think it was somebody tweeted it.
Well, because I saw the thumbnail of the tweet. He's walking around in a fucking suit with no shirt on underneath, and the suit doesn't fit right. It's fucking oversized and like it.
Looks like an Ian Schultz special.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. The sleeves look like he went to Ian Schultz's tailor, and then I see him walk past.
Whole time Ian
by the way, Justin Jefferson. Okay, I'm not gonna do a Bobby Trossett here and like glaze Justin Jefferson, but his suit fit properly. He's walking next to Joe Burrow.
Bobby's tweet is still the wildest thing that anybody's ever sent out. Karen Trossett.
Justin Jefferson looked put together and like he was at Fashion Week. And Joe Burrow looked like he was like a child who designed his own costume. Like when he walked past the camera, and the back was like just cut in a fucking in an arch. I screamed. I was like, "What the fuck? What is this?" And that looks like okay. And look, we're not trying to be homophobic, problematic. That looks like something you would see someone wear to like a gay club. That's like a gay outfit. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but that looks like shit
maybe
you
he broke up with his Kroger cashier girlfriend and is experimenting the other way. Which 2024, have fun.
And when I say that, like a gay guy, like an established gay man could put that on and fucking wear that shit, and that's cool, and it would be like, holy shit, nice fucking suit, you look awesome. But when Joe Burrow shows up wearing that, buddy, what the fuck are you doing? You're not known
the Kroger paychecks. Kroger paychecks couldn't afford the back of the suit.
Yeah, right.
The Kroger cashier fucking minimum wage was just he couldn't afford the full suit.
Right. It was a wild It's like I thought honestly the first time I looked at it, I thought it was just a picture. Like, oh, here he is, he's at Fashion Week. But then when I clicked play, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean it was a wild.
I've never seen a fucking outfit like that before. But I don't know. Maybe it was
get you a man who could do both.
A dare. All right, here's Brandon.
What up?
What's up?
Nah, I'm just sitting here enjoying the show, man.
What are you drinking?
You got 9 minutes.
4 roses. But no, like
Rashod.
I said in the comment earlier, I'm going to lead off with this O-line. Listen, I'm going to that distillery in August.
Buy a barrel.
Huh?
We'll make cool Ravens bottles and we'll sell
So
it.
fucking good. God damn it.
Zone 32 pick.
Yep.
But no,
TD Hunter can't have any though.
132 proof.
But yes. Anyways, for the Ravens, I'm excited for the coming up. I'm agreeing with Will on the Same's new boss.
Well, a new boss gives you the opportunity to add new wrinkles to a scheme that already worked.
Right.
So, like, the base is already there. Like, you already know what you have worked, so you can innovate.
And I think we also kind of have said this before, but Zach Orr learning from Mike McDonald on like the ins and outs of actually like being the guy, the defensive coordinator. That's a huge benefit to Orr and like fast tracking his development. But Zach Orr as a football mind, as a guy who is like a motivator of people and especially of defensive players, having been a player who honestly could still be on the team right now. Very much so contributing to the team. Right. So like if he had never gotten hurt, he would still be playing.
By Tyler Sperry. People forget that.
He doesn't just have like football enthusiasm and love and like addiction. He wishes he was still playing right now, and not just because like it's not like Ed Reed probably wishes that too, but he's too old to play. Zach Orr should be playing right now. It was taken away from him, so I think that is going to translate. Like basically he is going to be like Roquan Smith and him are going to be like the same person, except one's the coach and one is the player. Mm-hmm. That passion and like. Both of them, if they lose, if they fuck it up, if the defense is the problem, they probably go home and they're weak. It's like the worst week of their lives, and any person who comes into contact with them.
Oh, you guys don't know the answer. I don't know. Adam Ritchie just put a comment in. What the fuck did Marlon say about Patrick Queen? I just kept seeing people say, I can't believe Marlon said that about Patrick Queen.
Hold on, where did he say that?
The last comment.
I think there was some sort of like interview that Marlon did.
It was on his podcast. He was like,
"Was it like inflammatory?" I don't understand what the because I saw Patrick Queen responded with like a video of him watering grass. So I didn't really understand.
He basically said in his podcast the grass isn't always green on the side, and you've seen other Ravens players bounce and regret it. So Patrick Queen was like, "Well, I'm loving it here, man. I'm fucking good. The Steelers got a Super Bowl."
I mean,
who has Patrick Queen seen leave and like benefit from it? Who? Name one.
Nobody.
Rashod Bateman.
But he hasn't seen that.
Queen didn't see that.
Wasn't here, was he?
Nope.
I'm pretty sure Patrick Queen was alive when that happened.
But no,
he was alive. He was alive, but he wasn't watching the Ravens, and he wasn't on
his team. Wasn't his teammate?
Zadarius Smith. Was Patrick Queen around for last year as Zadarius Smith before he went to the Packers?
No, Patrick Queen's first year was 2020, right?
The COVID year.
The COVID year.
Yeah.
James Prochet.
Hold on. No, Patrick Queen's first year was 2019 because right?
No, it was 2020.
No,
2019 was the year LSU won the fucking national championship.
That fucking 0 year always fucks me up when I'm counting off years because 0 is 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw James Prochet thrive in Cleveland.
Right. He didn't play with Judon.
Where you had to buy a fucking.
He didn't play with Judon.
He did.
No, because
1 year.
Judon left it. No, Judon left after 19.
They played together in 2020.
Yeah,
one year they were together.
I don't think Judon like is a great example because like we're talking about Judon's might get traded back. That's still very much like it's still a conversation. I'm still seeing it floating
conversation amongst retards. Let's not do that.
Yep.
No,
they want to. The
conversation amongst retards is let's sign Michael Thomas.
No, the conversation amongst retards is that Julio Jones was better than Michael Thomas last year. Disgusting.
Last year,
he had 72 yards. He had 72 yards for a full fucking season. You try to tell me he's better than Michael Thomas.
Okay, you know what I'm going to tell you right now?
Maybe
you didn't listen to the whole episode last week.
No, I was in and out.
Well, considering the 2020 defensive starters with Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, Derek Wolfe, Pernell McPhee, Patrick Queen, LJ Fort, Judon, Humphrey, Peters, Chuck Clark, and Deshaun Elliott.
Derek Wolf's had a pretty good.
Deshaun Elliott has gone on to he's on his third team after the Ravens now. Yeah. He's had like a season-ending injury in every stop.
Third team in 3 years.
Derek Wolfe picked up a bear and carried it down a hill post Ravens. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Career move.
Derek Wolfe was straight up retarded that year. He voided his own contract.
Yeah, but his wife said that it was the doctor's fault, and she illegally reported him. So,
Well, she did that too.
Federal crime.
To the doctor who put on that fucking Botox in her.
Yeah,
so.
federal wiretap offense. But people don't talk about that.
So hold on. Before that, what were we talking about?
That you were retarded for saying Julio Jones and Russell.
So last week you didn't listen. I said this, and I will repeat it now, and I'm also going to double down on it and say this. So I would take today Antonio Brown over Michael Thomas.
Suck my dick. How many times have I brought up signing Antonio Brown post fucking mental breakdown?
I don't want to sign him. That's the point. I don't want to sign him. I'm saying he's a better wide receiver than Michael Thomas.
Oh, Mr. I want as many good football players on the team as possible, and then we have an all-time great wide receiver, and I don't want him. He's crazy.
Well, I also said
he is a crazy person. I'm not going to show off his wiener to anybody.
I am fairly sure I also said that he is probably a murderer. Like, we don't know about it yet, but he probably did murder someone, like in Dubai or some shit. Like,
and he didn't get caught. So I mean,
not yet.
Point Antonio.
That means he's a good murderer.
No. He is a great football player. He is an idiot. So if he did murder someone, he will get caught. I can promise you that. But
not yet.
I will double down on that and tell you right now. I think that Julio Jones is also a better football player than Michael Thomas.
72 yards.
It goes.
I don't care.
Antonio Brown.
72.
Julio Jones. Michael Thomas.
Thank you.
We're talking all time, or we're talking tomorrow.
Sign Antonio Brown. All right, I'm in. I would take Antonio Brown over Michael Thomas.
Sign none of those
right
three.
now.
Sign none of them.
Sign none of them. But if we're talking about in their peak football players,
in their peak is Antonio Brown.
No, Brandon. We're talking about today. June
26, 2024.
2024. I am taking those players in that order today. To be
Brandon, so what happened is that I said we should sign Michael Thomas, and Will said we should sign Russell Gage, who had 0 yards last year because he got hurt.
Better player.
Julio Jones, who had 72 yards, over Michael Thomas, who had 500 yards last year.
Can we just do none of the above?
Yes.
Agreed. At this point, I'd even rather stick with fucking Balenciaga Bateman over Michael Thomas.
And to be clear,
to be honest,
Russell Gage didn't play last year because he got hurt during training camp.
And yet you don't want to sign Michael Thomas because he's injury prone. Make it make sense.
No, don't want to sign. Yeah, because he's been injured every year for the last 5 years. He hasn't.
But you want to sign the guy who didn't play last year because he was hurt. Make it make sense.
And the year before that, he had more production than Michael Thomas has had this.
I just need a calculator because this is not adding up.
See,
no, I just added it up for you.
If it weren't for the injuries, Bateman still has a high potential, but as of right now, he's just looking like Michael Thomas.
No, he's looking like Jalen Dobbins Jr.
I don't want to hear that. No, he's not looking like Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas Jr. would be fucking incredible. Michael Thomas had one of, if not the greatest wide receiver years of all time in 2019. So I'm not taking away from the fact that
I'm
was
talking
great.
Post-injury. I'm talking post 2020.
Okay.
Post 2020, Michael Thomas has done more than Julio Jones. These are just facts.
What Drew said.
Michael Thomas is a better wide receiver right now than Julio Jones is.
Hold on.
Sure, yeah. It's fine.
See, so Will's going to check the stats, and then he's not going to talk.
No. I have an important maker.
I'm sorry. I'm a lightweight, and I had a double. I'm a little bit more conversed.
Again, the messaging of Zone 32 is always that Drew is right. We had an episode titled that. I've never seen an episode titled Will is right. So,
here's the thing. Usually in episodes where Drew is wrong, the lost episodes they wind up becoming lost episodes, and Max loses them in the shuffle.
Dexter.
Max only nixed one episode, and it's because I went fucking
dog.
No, was it
earlier?
I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about our previous episode.
Earlier in this episode, Drew said that Lamar can't be ahead of Terrell Suggs because Terrell Suggs won a Super Bowl.
Correct.
Julio Jones has
just
4
on
catches.
The Ravens Mount Rushmore.
Hold on.
The context matters.
Hold on.
No, I'm not falling for your fake news.
No,
bullshit.
but I'm speaking right now. Julio, I'll mute you if I have to. Julio Jones.
It's my turn.
Has 4 catches for 87 yards, and I believe a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
It's not Drew Brees' fault, or it's not Michael Thomas' fault that he played with a dome-reliant, noodle-armed midget with a fucking weird mark on his face.
If he didn't have Drew Brees, he wouldn't have set all those records in 2019.
Okay.
I mean,
and if he didn't have Drew Brees, they wouldn't choke in the fucking playoffs all the time too. So.
Well, I mean, you wanted to say that
it's a double-edged sword.
Lamar is below Terrell Suggs because of something
in
Terrell Suggs
Ravens history. Baltimore Ravens.
Hold on.
Baltimore Ravens Mount Rushmore.
In wide receiver in the grouping of wide receivers. Now, I'm pretty sure Julio Jones, his career stats are, I mean, they dwarf Michael Thomas.
Julio Jones, that's not the point. I mean, he played with Matt Ryan.
I'm just using your own logic against you.
Michael Thomas has never blown a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. Julio Jones has. Thoughts?
Julio Jones is the receiver. He's not the quarterback or the offensive coordinator or the head coach.
Was Julio Jones part of a team that blew a 28-3 lead? Yes or no?
Is Michael Thomas part of a team that has never been to a...
Never been to it, so he hasn't blown a 28-3 lead in it. Thoughts?
Is Michael Thomas a player who has only played how many games since COVID existed?
How many has Julio Jones played over that same span?
Not very many.
Not very many at all, Jake. That's a very astute observation.
Well, we're gonna do.
They've both been hot garbage since the pandemic. Hot garbage.
At some point, Will's just gonna stop googling stats. He's gonna realize that.
No, I'm doing an apples for apples comparison now, so we can address the claims that were just made. Hold on.
You can just apologize for being wrong. It would make life a lot easier.
Well,
hold on. Here we go.
When Will goes silent, this is
yep,
very reassureassuring.
Hold on. I put the years in the wrong way. I put them in backwards. Hold on.
Yep. But still, I mean, only way outside Michael Thomas is if he took the vet minimum, which is nothing. So they're not going to cut him if he's bad.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Since 2020, this is a bloodbath. Julio Jones, 40 games. Michael Thomas, 20 games. Receptions, Julio Jones, 117. Michael Thomas, 95. Receiving yards, 1,578 for Julio Jones, 1,057 for Michael Thomas. Receptions, receiving yards per reception, 13.5 Julio Jones, 11.1 Michael Thomas. Touchdowns, 9 Julio Jones, 4 Michael Thomas. Rushing attempts, 5 Julio Jones, 1 Michael Thomas. Rushing yards, 45-1.
Hold on a second.
This went
Julio Jones. Julio Jones played 40 games, and he put up those numbers.
Twice as many games as Michael Thomas, and they have.
And he barely edged him out by maybe 200 yards receiving.
Hold on.
20 catches.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That's more efficient. That's not even spinning. That's efficient.
You said that Michael Thomas played more games than Julio Jones. You both did. You said that
Julio Jones played more games. They're both bad.
Who was a better wide receiver?
You did say you.
Who was a better wide receiver?
Brandon, actually, Drew said that Michael Thomas has played more games, and then Jake said way more games.
Actually, I said that Jake said Julio Jones has not played in a lot of games, which is an accurate statement.
Yeah.
And then I said that your silence is very reassuring. The fact that
Michael Thomas has played one season plus 3 games.
Neither one has played a lot.
Played 2 seasons plus 6 games and has put up the same stats.
This decade.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, they've both been bad.
20 fucking
I want neither one of them. Just keep
20 games.
I stand by everything I said. Every word I said, I stand by. Julio Jones remains the better player
today
over the entirety of his career and also today.
Easily.
I mean, if you want to keep repeating, being wrong,
I'm still keeping Julio Jones in the middle. If we really have to, I'm still keeping Julio Jones in the middle just because.
All right, Jake, it's time for you to die so people can just, understand that Will wants the guy who puts up the same stats in twice as many games as the guy who does it in half the amount of games.
Yeah,
when you're talking about guys who are on the tail ends of their career, and by the way, I'm pretty sure Julio Jones is 8 years older than fucking Michael Thomas.
Yep. Well, no, not that much. But a little. But he's a little older.
You want the guy who
by at least 5 years.
1989 and
35.
1993. So 4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
Okay. So
35 and 31.
Yep.
This is not even close. It's crazy.
Yeah, other than Julio Jones took twice as many games for the same numbers. Thanks for playing. Appreciate it.
Well, there you go.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah.
A special thank you to Rashod Bateman for coming out tonight. Never mind.
Hold on. Julio Jones in his 11 games where he caught 11 passes for 74 yards, had 3 touchdowns. Michael Thomas played in 10 games, caught 39 passes for 448
He had a
yards.
tight end playing quarterback.
For 1 touchdown.
Tight end playing quarterback.
Nah, they had Derek Carr still. But that being said,
he wears mascara. So he had a gay and a tight end playing quarterback.
So hold on. You're telling me
now he's not gay.
Michael Thomas is
Julio Jones put up
11 catches for 74 yards.
3 touchdowns.
11 catches for 74 yards.
So you're doing the thing that people do to diminish Lamar now. You're saying yards are more
important. No, I'm doing the thing to diminish your point.
I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly certain that the way you win football games is by scoring touchdowns. Julio Jones scored 3 touchdowns. Michael Thomas scored 1.
I'm fairly positive all 3 of those were in one game, and then Julio Jones didn't do anything for the rest of the year, but we won't talk about that.
3 touchdowns versus 1. One guy.
How'd that work out for the Eagles? Calvin can tell you all about how bad the Eagles were last year.
Points on the scoreboard versus yards that mean nothing.
And 11 catches for 74 yards.
And then he quit.
74 yards.
And he quit. Then he quit on the team.
James Prochet had more receiving yards.
He quit on the team for the 4th year in a
row. James Prochet is a better wide receiver.
He got into a fight with a reporter. Said he was broke. I mean, like.
Was he wrong?
I mean, I'm not privy to the reporter's financial situation.
I would guess he wasn't wrong. That's what people got said.
So he stopped doing his job as a wide receiver because he was becoming an auditor of bank accounts.
What was Julio Jones' excuse? Played in like 14 games, had 74 yards receiving. Pretty sad.
3 touchdowns.
74 yards.
3 touchdowns, 1 touchdown.
That's you sound like a James Prochet dick rider right now.
I don't think James Prochet scored 3 touchdowns.
James Prochet had more receiving yards against Denver that year than Julio Jones did.
You're the only person talking about yards. I'm talking about touchdowns. They're the one. The touchdowns are what score points.
Look, the bottom line is that Julio Jones is not good anymore. So Michael Thomas is better.
The bottom line is that you value empty stats that don't contribute to winning games, and I like points on the board.
Well, the only thing you really say is neither one's a pretty option. If you have to choose, I guess Michael Thomas.
I don't want Julio Jones. I do not want Julio Jones. To be clear, I don't want Julio Jones. But I also don't want fucking Michael Thomas. He stinks.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, die. Time for us to go.
Well, that'll do for this week's episode. We'll be back to discuss this, that, and the other, and some other shit. The Hex has returned, so don't blame me for this, Will. It's time for me to die. Oh!
That was good.
Oh shit! The Hex has been broken. Drew is no longer cursing.
No, it's really good.
Oh.
Zone 32.